Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a state of the market video. Today is June 12th, 2021. Before we get started, this video is for educational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, and before we get started, I want to talk to you guys about the Lyon annual conference. It starts today, just under 3 hours away. Fantastic schedule of speakers today. I mean, just really amazing. Um, that's today. Tomorrow, again, a fantastic schedule of speakers. I will be presenting at 5:15 tomorrow night. If you're interested, please go to traderlion.com annual trading conference. If you can't make it, sign up anyway because they're going to email you links to all of the presentations. And again, these are just amazing presentations that are going to be presented. So highly recommended. All right. So SPX closing at all-time highs. At this point, nothing bearish to see here. Moving averages are moving upwards. That looks like a nice new trend that's trying to start. QQQ. This is an area of potential resistance. We don't know if it'll happen until after the fact, but maybe we'll see if there's any pullback. But right near all-time highs, and moving averages are trying to separate and move higher. Just going to a monthly chart on the Qs. I just wanted to make you aware of a potential Fibonacci extension here that could come into play. So here's the 2000 highs. Here's the 2002 lows, right? And the extension, the 1.618 extension on the Qs is at roughly 371, right? That's a rough number, but about 370-ish, you know. So that is only uh, about 9%. We have max of 9% there. And again, depending on how you measure it, it may be slightly less than that, anywhere from 3 to 9%. Point being is, will that offer any type of resistance? Will there be a pullback there? Here's on the weekly, strong week. Here we go. So I don't know the answer to that question. It's just an area of interest, right? Extend this line, and let's see. Towards the end of June is when do we make it to the top of this channel, and this coincides? I don't know. Maybe not. But that'd be a nice run in this. Why not participate until we get up here? Once price gets into this area, then we could become tighten up stops and become more cautious. But I think there's 9%, 8%, whatever it may be, until we hit this 370-ish area. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of space. And in growth stocks, that could be uh, double that, right? So you could make 15 or 20% potentially, in that area. So again, just an area to be aware of, not something that I'm going to predict, but 371-ish, yeah, maybe. Let's look at IWM. IWM trying to break out of this just long consolidation. Um, Not doing anything wrong. Looks like it's getting close, right? It's real close to all-time highs. And now we have this nice separation in the moving averages. So we'll see if that continues and when the breakout happens. Again, we're really, really close to breakouts. Let's look at the IWO. This is the growth, small cap growth. It broke the downtrend line. Moving averages are moving higher. So right now this looks very very good and very healthy. Like it wants to make the right side of a base. Maybe it gets back up here to this 340 level. 335. Then we'll see what happens. But that looks really nice. IWO. Move on to sectors. XLF turned down a little bit this week. Nothing crazy, but below the 23-day, which makes me which is a change of character, right? I mean, I guess there was one day below 23-day here, but it hasn't been below 23 days since February, beginning of February. So yeah, that's maybe a little bit of a change of character for it. We'll see what happens on Monday if it pops back up or not. SMH, chopping around here, hasn't broken out yet, hasn't made all-time highs yet. Usually I like to see SMH leading the market. It's not quite doing that at this point. It's not doing anything wrong either, right? It's participating in choppy fashion, but I would like to see this start to lead the market. Get above 258 or 260 ish. Um, Again, negative, but not a positive either. Looking at wood, wood continues to roll over. If we consider wood a leading indicator, then you know May 10th, right? 3 to 6 months. So let's see, May, June, July. Yeah, July, August ish. Is this indicating something in the fall to come? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, that by itself isn't enough for me to get bearish, a month in advance or 2 months in advance. But it's definitely going to take note, that wood is rolling over. And once it reaches, 83 ish, let's see what happens here. If it falls below 83, I'd get a lot more concerned. Okay, but that's lumber. Let's look at the 10-year yield, because the 10-year. I'm just take off these moving averages for now. Off, off. Thank you. All right, so the 10-year had this gigantic run, right? This was from last year, August. Gigantic run. And then kind of was flagging out above a very important area. And the expectation was that this was going to move higher. And it hasn't. It's actually started to roll over and move down. And you see that in the financials, giving back some of their leadership role. So when markets don't do what they're expected to do, that's kind of a take notice thing. Um, what does it mean? Well, I mean, for growth names, it may mean that growth names have a chance to lead again. It also means that people may be piling into treasuries or something like that, and you can see here's the TLT, the 20-year treasury, and it runs inverse to yields, and so you see it's kind of been making a higher low, higher low, higher low. So why are they going into treasuries, which is a flight to safety? I don't know, but it's something that I noticed. When we look at the spreads of government bonds to high yield bonds, there's no signal, right? So here's the government bond, here's high yield bond relationship. If anything is sideways at best, maybe a little turn down here, but really just in a range since April. And so no signal, right? That's the answer. Sometimes there just is no signal, and we'll have to wait for it to make a decision. But literally just sideways the whole time. Let's look at the VIX. So VIX falling to 15.66, and that is not bearish at all. That's bullish. That's a trending market. That's a less volatile market. That's what you want to see. And looking at the VIX same thing. It's falling. Again, more indicative of a trending market. Put call ratio. So here's the put call ratio. And I just labeled all the different spikes above what I consider important area. And, we're just in a bullish range. There's again no signal. That's the signal back here. Every time we do get a little extended, it does pull back a little bit, but as you can see, never pulls back all that much. This one back here in May was a good bit, but nothing that much. So it looks good there. Value line geometric index going out at all-time highs. Now this one is still showing the divergence. I would love to see this get into overbought territory up here. That would make me much, much happier with everything. Again, that by itself is not a end all be all sell everything, bearish indicator, because through some time we could kind of move sideways out of this trend line and eventually get to this overbought territory, which is a very possible scenario. Doesn't mean that we have to roll over, and this has to roll over too, but it is out there, so I want to make everyone aware of that. You look at MMFI, percent of stocks above the 50-day, and it's getting into it. It's a nice bullish area right here and moving higher. That's nice to see. Looking at gold, it had this big advance. Let's just go to that'll work. Big advance. Is it making the right side of this kind of bottoming pattern that's been a decade in the making? Maybe, but it's got to get back above 183 still. So right now, it's not doing anything right now. It's just not there. There's no signal for gold, but it could be. Could be. Silver looks pretty good too, right? This is the area. So if gold and silver break out, that would change everything too. Again, we're not seeing that quite yet, but is it setting up? Yeah, maybe. It looks pretty good. Um, you know, let's let's go ahead and just wrap it up here. And Qs, they're in a nice range, trying to break out to all-time highs. We have about 9-ish% higher. We have a potential area of resistance, maybe towards the end of June, going into July, but that's a good ways away. I say right now, nothing overtly bearish about anything. There's points of interest. You have lumber maybe rolling over, showing something. The value line with a divergence. Those are your bearish things. But price keeps moving to all-time highs, and I think that's always positive. So in the end, we follow price, but just as we get into this 360 to 370 area, I think that would be an area to make sure you know where your stops are, just in case. Remember, even if you get stopped out and then whatever pullback is small and we resume higher, you just buy right back in. It doesn't mean that you're done with that name, and you just mitigated potential risk. So, just some thoughts. All right. Good luck this week. Make sure you hit that Trading Lion conference. It's again starts in just 2.5 hours, probably 2 hours by the time this is out. And sign up so at the very least you get the videos emailed to you. All right. Y'all have a great week. We'll talk to you later. Bye.